Yeah, it does take a while to get used to it.
Well, good morning, everybody. We are live at the Great Minnesota Get Together at the State Fair. Woo! Thank you for joining us, Ruben with Structure Tech, Scott Wolmering, Mr. Mike Overson as well. We're getting ready to go live on air on WCCO. Appreciate you joining us. Hope your weekend's going well. You're welcome to comment with any thoughts, questions, etc. Guys, what do you think? Are we ready, Scott, Mike?
We're ready to go.
We're ready to roll.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Mike, a lot going on in the lending world.
A lot going on, yep. And a lot of good news going on, too. Rates are still falling. They're expected to fall more.
Yeah, and we're curious. If you are hearing us, send us a note that you can hear us.
Yeah, yep. Let us know. Let us know if you can as well. Seeing us here. Yeah, we know it's a little different setup this week. A little different setup, but hopefully you can pick us up here as well. Ruben, we got a lot to talk about in your world.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped about smoke alarms. We're going to be talking about those today.
Smoke alarms?
Well, the news got out. That's why it's packed out. It was like 3 people, and then all of a sudden the word got around. Ruben's talking smoke alarms.
And look at that.
Now we're jammed.
We're talking smoke alarms just in a little bit here. I think we're getting rolling just in a little bit. Again, you can comment at any point or 612-294-6949. Again, we're live at the fair here. WCCO right in the background. We can see the slide, the giant slide behind us. Scott, what do we got next to us?
We've got Sweet Martha's Cookies. We have Dino's. And we have the Republican, what is that, the Republican Hut?
Republican Party of Minnesota.
The Republican Party of Minnesota. It's weird because they're all in suits. I look hot. Everybody else is relaxed. The Republicans are all in suits.
They're wearing a lot of suits. We're getting ready here. We're getting ready to go live on air. Again, the fair's busy today. A lot of people already. But we're excited to be here. Last year was our first year we did this at WCCO. And so we definitely want to come back out again. We got a few folks in the crowd enjoying some cookies. But I had to laugh. Of all the people I could bring to the state fair, I've got the health enthusiasts. Mike, Ruben, and Scott. And here we go. We're going live on air. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. Hey! We appreciate it. We are live at the State Fair today, live at the fair, and we are here every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. talking all things real estate, mortgage, home inspection today. This is a show hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Hope your weekend is starting off well. And again, you're welcome to join us at any point, 612-294-6949, 612-294-6949. Scott, Mike, Ruben, good morning to you guys.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We've been doing the show for about 20 years. We've done the State Fair off and on through the years. It's always real fun. We really do talk everything in real estate and mortgage related. We always like to have a little fun non-real estate question. And I think this is kind of an apropos question for today. Apropos, is that right? Yeah. Mike, what is your question for the day for people? Non-real estate related.
All right, so the kind of the random question for the day is, if you could have a truckload of something dropped off at your house and you would be in heaven, what would that something be? And it can't be money, can't be like gold that you would exchange for money, okay? It's got to be some sort of good or whatever out there.
So like, I'll give you an example. So for Ryan, it would be cardigan sweaters. So if you could get a truckload of cardigan sweaters, that's Ryan's deal. Yeah, what could you have that they could drop off and you just be like, this is amazing?
A truckload of something. We're looking here at the fair at the giant slide. Love the giant slide right behind us. We have got, again, Sweet Martha's Cookies next door. A lot of people here already. Mike, again, out of anyone I could get to the state fair, it is the health enthusiast himself, Mr. Mike Overson.
I see that we're surrounded by Sweet Martha's cookies, and we got the deep fried candy bars over there, French crepes, and then Rice Krispie bars.
Yes.
So choose one.
Everything that you do in a fine, well thought out diet.
Yes, absolutely. All the food groups covered here within a half a block. It's amazing.
Got to give a nice shout out to my family who stopped out. My mother, mom is here. My dear brother Tim, and my dear brother Daniel, and my sister-in-law Janice are here. And of course, I got to give a shout out to Jean. Here, we've got the Kane side of the family here as well. She's a longtime Minnesota Real Estate Show listener. We couldn't get Uncle out here, though. No Uncle today. He's listening. He's listening, but not here in person. So, Mike, let's talk first segment here, real estate-wise, mortgage-wise. What's cooking for interest rates?
Yeah, we go to the beginning of this year, and we didn't want to talk about interest rates.
No.
We get to this time of the year, and now we do want to talk about interest rates because they are heading in the right direction. So, if you're looking at the conventional loans out there, most of the people that I locked in this week were anywhere between 5.99 and 6.375, right? So we're hovering around that 6%, low 6 mark. It's expected that they're going to continue to drop here, especially when the Feds meet on September 18th.
Yeah. Tell people about that because everybody's like, oh my gosh, rates are going to go down. Rates are going to go down, which is correct. They're going to drop rates, but talk about how that affects mortgages.
Yeah, so when the Feds drop rates, they're dropping what's called the Fed's funds rate. It's not the actual mortgage rates that you see out there. Now, they're somewhat related to each other, so when one drops, the other typically drops as well, but it's not an immediate reaction. So it's not like the Feds are going to come out on September 18th and say, hey, yep, we're confirming we're going to drop the Fed's funds rate by 0.5%. It's not like mortgage rates drop by 0.5% the next day, right? That's not how it happens. It's more of a trickle-down effect. Now, a lot of times what we're going to see is a couple days after the Fed meeting, interest rates will actually go up a little bit. We'll see a little rise in them, but then over the next few weeks, you'll see they'll start to dive and they'll go down with that Fed's funds rate. So it is expected that from now through the end of the year, they'll continue to trickle down, and we could see rates, in the low 5s by the time we hit January 1st.
Yeah, again, News Talk 830 WCCO. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. A lot of great state fair goers walking by, checking things out. Ruben, they're already diving in to grab some Sweet Marthas there.
Heck yeah, I'm going to be hitting that. Oh, my mic's not.
We got no mic for
Ruben. That's all right. We'll talk. Ruben, you can sit through the whole show.
No, that's terrible. Give him your mic. Give him your mic.
Yeah, we got Sweet Martha's cookies. I'm going to be hitting that up as soon as we're done here. I'm going to get a bucket, bring it home to the kids. Hopefully they're not listening and I can surprise them. And the goal is always, can you eat enough cookies before you get to the car so you can put the lid on? Because that's how they... That's my goal.
That's good. Hey, before the first break, we did want to touch on some real estate numbers here for you in the Twin Cities. New listings or new homes for sale were up 4.3%. 1,485 new properties came on the market. Pending sales or accepted offers dropped almost a little over 17%. 906 pending sales. And then the inventory of homes for sale is down almost 13%. There are 9,589 properties for sale. And guys, though, that median price, so the price of real estate in the Twin Cities is still up a little bit, 2.7% to $385,000. Scott, those prices have not gone down at all.
Yes. Yeah. So the commentary on this is just yuck. We've got a few little younger girls in the front row. It's a yucky market right now. Doesn't sound fun. We've got less homes being sold. They're more expensive. They cost more to buy. That's really the gist of it. The reason it's slow right now, people don't like the home that they're buying for what their payment's going to be. They don't like the interest rate. It's been this way for a couple of years, and they're just kind of hanging. And so when we drop into that 5s by January, if that happens, we're going to see a big explosion. So that goes back to, should you wait till then or should you buy now? If you've listened to the show, you should buy now. Buy at a value that's real. Refinance when rates go down. Don't wait till the values go up again.
Yeah, before the break, wanted to feature on a listing Stephen Vaught, an agent with the Minnesota real estate team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus, has one in Buffalo Lake, 308 6th Street Northwest, for $220,000. It's a 3-bed Rambler, a corner lot, huge backyard. He says got an oversized 2-car garage, newer furnace and AC, and it's got a brick exterior. Be sure to check that one out. Folks, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. And again, we are here every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We even have a few T-shirts to hang out or to give to folks at the fair here today. But we're up against our first break. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. What do you think, Ruben?
I think I love it. We got to do this every week. Is that cool? We do. I like doing this outside.
Hopefully you can hear us okay. Let us know if you can or can't hear us okay. Scott, we got you out to the fair, buddy.
We did. I mean, I like coming out. We normally come out, like I was telling the guys, we come out and do like a pretty quick loop. We hit the corn, we hit the Pronto Puffs, we hit the corn, we hit the lemonade, the pork chop on a stick, Martha's cookies, which are right next to us, and then we hit the door. It takes about an hour. We're in and out.
About an hour in and out. Mike, you ever hit the fair? No.
The kids will want to come, right? The kids will want to come. So if my sister, who they come every single year, right? If my sister doesn't take our kids, then I will run them up here so they can do their thing. Most of the time, though, they go up with my sister, so I don't have to deal with it, and it's great.
Love it.
Ruben, a lot going on in the inspection world. Smoke alarms. We're talking a little bit of smoke alarms today.
Oh yeah, we're going to be getting into smoke alarms. There's a lot that people don't know about them. There's deadly differences. Can't wait to talk about it. I brought props, which is great radio.
Wow.
And,
That's good. That's good
We're
for
going to dig into it.
for the viewers as well. What do you think? The question of the week is, if you could have someone drop off a huge truckload of something, but can't be money, what would it be? A huge truckload. Scott, do you have your answer already?
I do. I mean, I've got a couple of them, but I would probably have them drop off a truckload of Pro V1 golf balls. And
Golf balls?
Pro V1 golf balls, for those that play, they know they're $6 a golf ball. They're very expensive, very good golf balls. That's what I play. And so you'd have them for the rest of your life.
It's not bad. And you know what? I heard you say that before the show, and I'm going to jump on that same bandwagon. I play a ton of disc golf. Give me a truckload of discs. Every throw, no matter how challenging it is, full send. I don't care if I lose it. I will never look for another disc again.
Because you got a truckload of them.
Yeah, I'll just go with 20 every time I go. It goes in the woods, look, it's gone. Throw
Disc
another
golf.
one. Yeah.
You play a little disc golf. So how often do you play disc golf?
4 to 5 times a week in the summer.
Oh my God.
I go a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's my passion.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I go a ton. I ride a one wheel. It's this little electric
He's
skateboard.
got, by the way, he brought that into the state fair. So all of us are schlepping along here.
They had to walk.
Tell him about your one wheel.
It's like an electric skateboard. And so I parked a couple miles from here. I jump on my skateboard. I'm going 20 miles an hour, zoom it up here, and it took me 5 minutes to get from parking 2 miles away right to the front gate.
That's so smart.
It's great.
Talk about a good friend, though. So, of course, I leave the house without any cash in my pocket. I mean, really, how often do we carry cash in our pocket? Mr. Mike, of course, so we're pulling up to the parking. We had a parking pass, but the lot's full, so we had to go to the neighbor one. $30 a pop. So Mr. Mike steps it up, has the cash in his pocket. So thank you, Mike. You allowed me to get into the fair.
Yeah, the interest rate on that cash is pretty high. That $30 is going to turn into about $50 real quick here.
Oh man! Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're having fun at the fair. Hopefully, you can get out here. We're getting out to the fair here in a little bit too, and maybe we should do a little like song or dance right in front here too, Ruben.
Yeah, I'll record you.
Do that, right? Yes.
That sounds good.
That's right up your alley.
Yeah.
No, this is fun. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully, like Brian said, hopefully you can hear us clearly. It's a little loud here, but a lot of fun. It's going to be a hot one. So if you're out and about today, if you're coming to the fair, dress accordingly. Bring some misters and stuff to keep cool.
Here we go. We're going back. We're going back live on air on WCCO. Thanks for joining in. Well, top of the morning to you. Welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hey, Real Estate Fair. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. everybody. We got a fun weekend here, and we got a great lineup. Mike Overson, Illuminate Home Loans. Ruben Seltzman with Structure Tech. Scott Wolmering with the Minnesota Real Estate Team. A lot to talk about here today, a lot going on. Mike, you just gave us a little interest rate update. Are you seeing more people refinance? What are you seeing? Mostly new purchases?
Mainly still purchases. The refinances are right there, right? They're coming. But when people hear it's like, hey, rates are down to this level, but they're expected to go down again in 3 weeks, what are you going to do? You're going to wait the 3 weeks to see what happens and refinance then. So there's people that have reached out. They're there, right? They're there ready to go. They're all waiting for that September 18th Fed announcement to see how interest rates react after that. And then we'll see, some refinances come in, and over the next few months, they'll just start trickling in.
Yeah, again, Scott, Ruben. Ruben, you brought some props here today. Tell people what you got in your bag of goodies there, buddy.
Yeah, I know it's great radio to bring props. I got a couple of smoke alarms, and I wanted to talk about deadly differences between two different types of smoke alarms. Anytime you go to the store, typically you kind of look at the price. You go, this one's $5, this one's $15. This is good for this is good for that. Oh, I'll get the $5 one.
I'll get the 15.
Well, smart. And the difference is that one type, it's called ionization, they'll go off a few seconds faster if you have a fast flaming fire. But if you have a slow smoldering fire, the type that fills your room up with smoke to the point where you're overcome with carbon monoxide, you can't see to get out, those are deadly fires. That's what people die in. And these photoelectric ones, which is what people should get, these will go off tens of minutes faster. I'm talking like 20, 30 minutes before these inferior ones. And the only reason you can still purchase these terrible smoke alarms is because the manufacturers who make them fill the boards of the safety standards, which is why they're still around. And we go to any new construction house on home inspections. Anytime there's new construction, all you ever have are the bad smoke alarms. This is what builders put in there. And the first thing you should do, if you got a new house, if you're buying a used house, if you don't know what type of smoke alarm you have, is to get photoelectric smoke alarms. And the reason I'm talking about this today, I was at Home Depot the other day, walking past the smoke alarms. I do a double take. Almost all of their smoke alarms have been replaced. It's all the same one, almost. They got different flavors, like some are hardwired, some are interconnected, some are carbon monoxide alarm combos, but they're basically all the same one, and they're all photoelectric.
The good ones.
The good ones.
The good ones.
So if you go to Home Depot to buy a smoke alarm, you can't get the wrong one. And I think it's just delightful. Kudos to Home Depot for switching out their entire supply with something that is going to save lives.
How would you know if you're going into the store which one to buy? If you're not super looking at the labels, I mean, is it pretty easy to tell?
It's not. It's not. I actually looked and I couldn't even figure out which type this was, this new one. I ended up opening up the package and looking on the smoke alarm. And then I looked a little closer and it's got this little P on the outside. You're looking for the word photoelectric. That's what you need to find. And if you don't have them in your own house, if you're not sure, take your smoke alarm down. You give your smoke alarm half a twist, you look on the back side, and it's gonna have the words photoelectric on there in very fine print somewhere. I mean, I'm gonna hand this over to Scott. He's gonna examine it. It's gonna take you a minute. I mean, it's not obvious, but eventually you'll find the words photoelectric on the back of it. I'm not gonna tell you where.
Got it. Photoelectric.
You can join us here at 612-294-6949 at any point during the show. We're live at the State Fair, so you can join by phone or by text. 612-294-6949. Text message. Scott, this one's up your alley. What are you guys seeing for home sellers? Is this a good market for home sellers to sell a home?
It is the second best home selling market we have ever had. The best selling market we had was the first 6 months of 2022. We had about 6,000 homes on the market. Rates were at 2.7% and everything went crazy. That's an unrealistic market. Right now we have 8,000 homes, 8,400 homes. Balanced market in the Twin Cities is 19,000. So right now is the best time that we've had ever to sell. The reason things are sitting is because, like anything else, a little bit of greed, getting a little bit too aggressive on pricing. Pricing has gone up consistently for 5, 6, 7 years, everybody's grabbing that little extra more, and you've got increased interest rates, and the market's just pushing back. They're just not going to jump on it unless it makes sense.
Yeah, again, that's kind of a simple, very simple analysis, but that's what we're seeing. It is, it's interesting, Mike. I was talking to a friend, a first-time home buyer yesterday, and he was asking, is this a good time for a first-time buyer to be buying a house? What are your thoughts on that? And what do you think?
So typically when someone asks if it's a good time to buy, really what they're asking is, do I buy now or do I wait a year?
That's right.
Right? Typical leases are a year long, right? So that's the question, do I buy now or do I wait a year? I would say if you're in the market to buy, I would buy now, because a year from now, I do think interest rates are going to be lower. But what that's going to cause is 9 million extra people throughout the country to be injected into the buyer market. Now you have more competition as a buyer out there. Now we might be back to, you have to offer 20 or 30 grand over list price. You might have to waive your inspection. You might have to do all this stuff to get your offer accepted to be able to compete against the other buyers you're competing against. So buy now when it's reasonably priced and you can buy your home at the value that it's actually valued at. Refinance in a year when the rates go down.
Yeah, good question here. Jennifer says, how long does the smoke detector last, Ruben?
That's a great question. Yeah, man, there's so much I want to cover. I want to take the next 2 hours to cover all the ins and outs.
Please do.
Great question.
Please do. Yeah,
years.
we're at the fair. All right, we got some thumbs up here in the front. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, smoke alarms are good for 10 years. And if you're not sure how old yours is, if it has turned yellow, it's probably over 10 years old. All you got to do, give it a twist, look at the backside. They all have a date code on the backside. If your smoke alarm doesn't have a date code, I guarantee it's over 10 years old. And during our home inspections, that's something we do. We check the smoke alarms. We give them a twist. We look at them. If they need to be replaced, we let people know about them. So
Yeah.
Great question, Jennifer. Thank you.
Again, 612-294-6949. We got a question here. A question from the audience as well.
Come on
Come on up, sir. And tell me your first name.
Rick.
All right, Rick. What do you think of the fair so far? Are you having a good time?
Yeah.
Rick has got the Vikings attire for all of our listeners. He is a die-hard Vikes fan. I can tell. What do you think? Are the Vikes going to have a good year this year?
Of course. You got to have confidence in them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You got a question? Question for 2 questions. All right.
For the carbon monoxide detector, how close? I have a gas stove. How is too close having a carbon monoxide detector to a gas stove? And then the other question that I've heard, and you don't hear too often, how often should you vacuum the carbon monoxide smoke detector out? They say it gets clogged up with dust, and you need to remind the person to vacuum that out. Otherwise, the detector may not work as well.
Yeah,
That is a
really
fan-
good questions. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Fantastic two-part question. All right, for carbon monoxide alarms, you should be able to put it as close as you want to your stove, because your stove should not be kicking out copious amounts of carbon monoxide. But really, the best place to put your carbon monoxide alarms is within 10 feet of sleeping rooms. That is the Minnesota mandate, 10 feet of sleeping rooms. And then for your other question, how often you vacuum them? If you look at the manufacturer's manuals, I kid you not, I'm pretty sure they tell you monthly, which I think is just ridiculous. Who does that? I'm lucky if I do mine annually. But the bottom line is, if you start getting your smoke alarms going off in the middle of the night, seemingly for no reason, either replace the batteries or try vacuuming it out. That's the short answer.
Thank you for the question. Hey, Mom, you got to come up. Mom, come on up for a second. I've got my dear mother here. Mom, state fair goer. What do you think so far of the fair here today? How many years have you been coming to the fair?
Oh, ever since we've been married, since 1960. Every year, this few here and there, but otherwise it's a regular thing to do. It's part of Minnesota.
What was Dad's favorite part of the state fair? When Dad would come, what would he love doing?
Well, Dad, being a farmer, he always went to the animals first, to the barns, and seeing all the little babies, and that would be his favorite.
And the plans today? Any special foods you're gonna have? With Tim, Dan, Janice?
Well, we'll see where everybody would like to go. I'd like to get a chocolate cup. They're talking now about Joe cooking pizza. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring Marcus cookies home. Who knows?
Well, how about a round of applause for Mom? Well done, Mother. Well done. Yeah, long time listener of the show too, Scott.
She is. She's been a fan forever, along with my mom. She's in Illinois. We were talking earlier, but yeah, longtime fan. We appreciate everything. She has raised incredible kids, minus one, and has done a great job.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're already at the halfway point here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your state fair is going well. Stay cool today. Drink lots of water. We got a lot to talk about. Ruben, Structure Tech, Mike Overson, Luminate Homes, and Scott Wolbering. We'll be back after the break.
I think this it took me about 20 to get in here. Sure.
Yeah. Stay for one more. You can do one more. Yeah, you stay one more. Thanks everybody for joining us. We got some people right in front here too. That's probably why you couldn't see us on social media. But a lot of good stuff, Ruben. You always have great content.
Try it, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wanted to say, maybe I could say it on the air. We won Minnesota's best. We won gold for that Minnesota's best.
You did.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that. Minnesota's best. Daniel, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Dan.
I didn't hear you guys' answers to the truckload question. We can't skip over that.
I know we do. One thing, Mike. Do you have something in mind?
For me, yeah. This was a tough one for me because there's a lot of different routes I could go with this. I would pick fishing equipment. Rods, reels, lures, because we do a ton of fishing. None of that stuff is cheap. We lose
See you guys.
lures.
Love you. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here.
So we're all talking about stuff that we lose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
golf
it's like,
balls,
Disc golf,
Disc
fishing
golf.
equipment.
I easily probably have $3,000 worth of just raffles sitting in my
Oh,
pocket.
for sure.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm going to lose 4 this weekend because it's just, that's what's going to happen. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'd go. I'd go rods, reels, and lures.
I have an answer.
All right, what do you got?
I would have a truck full of dogs.
What?
Why in the world?
I love dogs.
Puppies or
I love dogs.
What are you gonna do with them?
I just love dogs. I could have tons of dogs.
Could you really?
I really do. I do love dogs. There's
Okay.
something about dogs that, I mean, of course, we've got just one dog.
What's
And I know
your
that from-
favorite?
I like smaller dogs. I mean, we grew up having a collie, so a little bit of a bigger
bigger
dog.
dog.
But Scott's expression,
Yeah,
it was
well,
like
yeah.
a long pause, like a long, awkward pause.
Well, I just Andrea, my first wife, she has, or they got rid of a few of the situation, but they had 6 dogs, and it was like Wild Kingdom every time you went over there.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Wild
It's
Kingdom.
nuts, and I get it. You love dogs. I mean, I love golf, but I don't want to play every day.
Yeah,
That's funny.
appreciate you joining us here again on social media. We're here until 11 o'clock today. We've got, again, Ruben with Structure Tech as well. Mike Overson, Illuminate. Mike's going to be talking after the break, too. He had a good comment today. We were talking about closing costs and kind of how deceptive some lenders can be in what their costs are. Mike was getting shopped by some other, by a customer, and the other lenders weren't being honest about how they were setting it up. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray area there, right? So it's like if you're not a local, right? If you're not a local lender, where if someone's not happy with how you misled them potentially, right? What's the worst that's going to happen? They're just not going to call you.
That's right.
If you're local, you got your reputation, right? And the word spreads pretty quickly, and all of a sudden it's like now your business goes down. So it's like these online loan officers, that's how they get their business. You don't know them, they don't know you. The only way that you do business with them is if their numbers look better, and so they can kind of cheat the system a little bit to make it look better, and then you get to closing, you get a big surprise at the end.
Well, they're salesmen. That's what people don't understand. They're not bankers. They're salesmen. Now, you are as well. I am as well. But there is a little bit different. Yes, I want to sell you something, but a house. But I want to sell you the right house in the right circumstances, so it's good for you. And that's how the majority of great lenders are. But like any industry, there are some that are not up to the board.
612-294-6949. Yeah, Tim's going to grab a photo. We got a photo of us here, too, with the guys. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Jennifer says swings for my daughter to use for stimulation. She has autism and dogs. That's very cool. Swings would be fun.
Yeah.
Scott, before you leave, we got a question, another real estate question. We're going to dive in before Scott's going to cut out.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We are live here at News Talk 830 WCCO, live from the fair. Hope your weekend's going well, everybody. Every Saturday, we're here 10 to 11. And excited to be here. A lot of folks eating Sweet Martha's, going down the slide, riding. Ruben, what's that called overhead?
Gondola? Is it a gondola?
Riding the gondola. Hey, before you, Scott, I know you've got an open house here coming up. Here, what are you seeing with your buyers and sellers in this market? What advice do you have for folks, and what are you seeing?
Well, I'll break it out two different ways. So let's talk about buyers. So for a buyer right now, we talked about it earlier. I think it is an incredibly great time to buy right now. Before rates go into the fives, that I think they're going to get at the end of the year, because you are going to see a huge increase in pricing when that happens. So again, if you are a buyer right now, very good time to buy. Prices have been a little bit stagnant, and rates are going to go down, so you're going to be able to get in. If you are a seller, again, second best market we've ever had. That does not mean that you can stick a number on your house at whatever and everybody's going to flock to it. I'll give you an example. I put a home on a couple weeks ago. We have 1,000 saved searches on it. I've had 8 showings. If that was in 2022, I'd have 88 showings. So yes, very good market. 6 showings in 2 weeks is good. I mean, that's what I would have begged for that back in 2007. So again, very good market. Listen to your agent. Make sure that you are in line. Make sure that you are hitting good break points. Don't list at 305, list at 300. Don't list at 410, list at 400. Don't list at 427.5, list at 425. These are all things that are going to get you more bang for your buck.
Yeah, Scott, you got a big open house today, buddy. Where are you going to be?
I am going to be in Burnsville, and in fact, I have to leave. I apologize, but please come and see me today at 14905 Judicial Road in Burnsville. 5-bedroom, 2-bath Rambler. I'm going to be there today from 11:30 if I make it till 1 o'clock. So please come out and see me. It is listed at $400,000, half acre, and walk out lot.
And before you leave, Scott, you got to grab a steak on a stick.
Pork chop.
Pork chop on a stick. We appreciate Scott. Great job as always. Mike, we had a question that texted in. What is the purpose of earnest money when selling a home? Mike, you want to hit that one?
The purpose of earnest money when selling a home. So
yes.
With the buyer giving you earnest money, they got some skin in the game, right? So what you don't want to happen is that a buyer writes a contract on your house, and then you get a week from closing, right? When you have all your stuff packed up in your truck, and maybe you have another house that you're buying that you're going to go to the closing on that same day or later that day, and then the buyer says, you know what? I guess I really don't want to buy your house anymore, right? That would be a big issue. So earnest money is from the buyer. That money is put on the table, and that money is at risk. That buyer could lose that earnest money if they back out of the deal and don't suffice the terms of the contract. So it puts some stake in the game on the buyer's side of things to where they have something to lose if they don't fulfill that contract.
Mike, before I've got another thought. We were just talking before the show that there was a borrower who was who's buying a property, and they were kind of shopping you with different lenders, some of them bigger national lenders. And what's interesting is they were not comparing apples to apples, and the customer was confused. Maybe talk about that so people can understand, if they're buying a house, how those fees work.
Yeah, so the example here was when you buy a house, you got to pay for your first year's worth of home insurance at the time of closing. So you're going to pay 12 months worth of home insurance there right at the closing. And so if you're not estimating a realistic amount for your insurance, you can swing that number a lot. My example was it's a $500,000 house. I estimated that insurance would be $250 a month, which would be $3,000 a year. So we got to collect that $3,000 at closing, right? And that's part of your closing costs. This other lender was estimating that his insurance would be $115 a month, right? And that's only $1,400 a year. So the difference between my $3,000 and that $1,400 is $1,600. So right off the bat, it looks like my closing costs are $1,600 higher. but that's because it's dealing with the insurance, right? And if you're not using a realistic amount of insurance, you can make your number look lower. Well, that buyer is going to have a pretty big change in his bottom line when he finally gets an insurance quote and sees that his insurance is probably actually going to be closer to $3,000 a year up here in Minnesota for that level of a house versus $1,400, right? And so that's just one of the examples of where you can really swing those numbers by a pretty large amount strictly by just using a super low, unrealistic amount for home insurance.
Yeah, again, just kind of comparing apples to apples. Ruben, very important. Had a featured listing, wanted to hit on Steve McDonald with RE/MAX Advantage Plus in the Minnesota real estate team. He's got one in Chaska, 833 Brownworth Court for $275,000. He's got an open house tomorrow, Sunday, from 12 to 2, and it's a great townhome. It's minutes from schools, parks, easy access to Highway 212. It has an open floor plan, large center island, second level, offers 2 bedrooms along with a separate office. And then the large primary bedroom has a large walk-in closet. The roof was replaced in 2021. It's a great location, a great neighborhood to enjoy. Be sure to check that one out. One other one, guys, Craig Hillier with the Minnesota real estate team. He's got one in Lakeville, 16213 Grinnell Avenue in Lakeville for $495,000. It's a modified 2-story, 4-bed, 4-bath, including a private 3/4 bath in the primary, new carpet, car garage that's finished and insulated, a large corner lot with a fenced-in yard. Again, 16213 Grinnell Avenue in Lakeville for $495,000. That is a modified 2-story, very nice property as well. One last one here I want to touch on. Nikki Popko. It was her birthday yesterday. Happy belated birthday to a great agent, Nikki Popko. This one's in Coon Rapids, Ruben. 10744 Yellow Pine Street, northwest in Coon Rapids, for $399,900. 5-bed, 2-bath, plus an office. It's got an updated kitchen, windows, siding, and carpet. Heated front sidewalks for those Minnesota winters. A great neighborhood close to shopping and schools. 12 by 16 shed for additional storage, and then an open house today, actually from 11 to 1. Nikki's going to be out there for an open house, Ruben.
Did you say heated sidewalks?
Yeah, that's caught me too. I was like, heck
Wait
yeah.
a minute. What? How?
Heated
That's
front
wild.
sidewalks for Minnesota winters.
That
Have you heard of that?
so unusual. I've inspected one house in my life where they had a heated driveway, and they had a couple of different gigantic boilers to heat the driveway. I mean, it was insane the amount of BTUs that was used for this. But it's rare. Who knows a heated sidewalk? That's delightful.
Mike, I think you would be, could imagine you having something like that too.
There was one house that I went and looked at that had a heated sidewalk. So all the houses too, just very rare. Had a heated driveway. And that was the first time I had heard about it. And I was just like, that's genius.
It's genius. Do you know how they heated it? Was it hot water or was it electric? Okay.
It was hot water, yeah.
Got
Like the Wurzlow system.
Yeah.
We got a question from the audience that just came in and says, we just got our homeowners annual insurance renewal and the rate went up 28%.
Yes.
What are you seeing for average increases?
They are going through the roof. I do a podcast, structuretalk.com.
Awesome
Plug for
podcast.
that.
Check it out.
And we just had an insurance guy on, and we spent an hour discussing exactly that. Insurance rates are going through the roof. Minnesota has some of the highest claims of anywhere in the country, and it's mostly because of our hail damage. We have so many hail claims, and people end up winning new roofs. You look like you got something to say, Mike. Jump in.
So I got a letter 8 days ago from my insurance provider saying that your renewal is supposed to happen in November, but we are not going to renew your policy because we are no longer going to do insurance business in the state of Minnesota.
Wow.
Yes.
So I got to find a brand new insurance carrier because they're just pulling out of Minnesota completely.
People are leaving Minnesota, and it has to do with a lot of legislation. It's very difficult for insurance companies to increase their rates to cover their losses. It's all regulated. So when they want to increase enough to cover all their losses, they can't. They legally can't. and they're forced out of the state. That's what's happening. So you get some of the bigger companies, and now people are coming to us before they can even get insurance. They need something called a 4-point inspection, which you probably never heard of, but they're big down in Florida, but they're coming to Minnesota. And it's going to be at the point where people have to get those to get insurance.
We're going to continue that discussion here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Every Saturday we're here, excited to be out at the State Fair today. Hope your weekend is going well. A lot of folks at the Great Minnesota Get Together today. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Our team, the Minnesota Real Estate team, has a great agent wherever you are listening to this show right now, all over Minnesota and western Wisconsin. We would love to help you. If you're thinking of buying, selling, investing in real estate, we'll be back after the break. Thank you. Good questions. Good questions from the audience, too, asking about that. Ruben, tell folks the name of your podcast again.
It's Structure Talk, just like Structure Tech, but structuretalk.com. You can find it, or anywhere fine podcasts are found. Type in Structure Talk, you will find us. We're on all the big platforms.
And Josh just commented here too. Thank you for joining us, Josh. He says HOA dues going up crazy due to insurance premiums, some upwards of 300% increase. Unbelievable. What do you think, Mike? Lending wise, how is that affecting people lending wise?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about that on the last few shows of just how the game has changed, especially for condos. And the insurance, because as insurance goes up, what associations are doing is they're trying to increase their deductible to keep the premiums down, right? So they don't have to increase association dues for people. What that's causing is that's causing the deductibles to be higher than what's allowed to be able to get a loan for any units within that association. So it's great because associations we're doing what we can for our our unit owners here to keep costs down. But then on the bad side, now it's making it a lot tougher to get loans out there. And in some cases, there's no financing available because they don't meet the requirements. So it's an interesting time where we have a few things shifting around. Eventually, everything will settle in and it'll just be the norm. But it is a little different right now.
Ruben, what else do you have for us today? I want to be sure. I know we've talked a lot important stuff about smoke alarms. You'll have to if you missed it earlier, catch back and watch. Really important. The type of smoke detector that you pick out for safety.
Life and death.
Yeah, what's it called again?
Photoelectric is what you want to get.
Photoelectric is the name of it. That is very important. Thank you for bringing that up. Because that, again, especially new construction, if you're buying a new construction home, you're saying all of them have the wrong one.
They all have the bad ones. Yes. Go ahead. If you buy a new house, anytime within the last 20 years or whatever, it's all going to be ionization. What you need to do is replace all of your existing smoke alarms. It might cost you $100, $200. It's well worth it. I mean, they're good for 10 years. So
that alone is worth the price of the State Fair admission today. Just for you to share that with everybody. What made me think of it too, our smoke alarm low battery alert. I had it a couple days ago, so it got me thinking about it as well. It's so important. You never want to have to think about that, but it's just a small thing you can do to protect you and your family. So if you need to, Home Depot, you said, has it.
Home Depot only sells the ones that you want to buy now. Okay. That's a recent change. Go to Home Depot, you're not going to go wrong.
Yeah, fellow agents, brokers listening, watching, Mike Overson and his team are doing an awesome job closing on time, fair fees, great service. Mike is just doing a wonderful job. Mike, again, appreciate you, buddy.
It's just honesty in numbers. There's still games, even with all the regulations in place. There's still some gray area games that you can play. So I'd rather be honest and realistic with someone than feed them a line and have stuff change on the ground.
Yeah.
We got to probably ask Tim what people want a truckload of.
Yeah, let's ask Tim. Yeah, Tim, you got a truckload of something. What would you like?
What's it going to be?
Truckload of something? Yeah, they're going to. Well, it can't be money. It can't be money. truckload of anything delivered to your front door.
For the presidential candidate. That's my choice.
That's a funny one. Tim said it's a truckload of votes for his presidential candidate. Not saying who it is, but a truckload of votes. Here we go. We're going back live on air. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you joining us. Hope your weekend's going well. We are live on CCO every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., normally downtown Minneapolis. This morning, we're out at the State Fair.
This is a lot more fun.
It is more fun, a lot of more fun. We talk real estate, mortgage, home inspection. Ruben, you talked a lot of good stuff today. Anything else for folks with you and your great company, Structure Tech?
You know what? We were talking about insurance. It's something that is out there. What is driving these insurance costs through the roof? There's a lot of roof replacements where they really don't need to be replaced. I had some door knockers come to my house the other day, and I thought, I'm not going to tell them what I do. Yeah, I acted dumb.
You
yeah,
did.
Take a look at my roof, please, would you? And they got up there, and sure enough, they're like, yep, you got hail damage. Needs to be replaced. Let's get on the phone with your insurance company. And I'm looking at the photos. It's nothing. My roof is perfectly fine. But if they push hard enough, they could probably get it replaced, and my insurance company would pay for it. This is why we're all paying through the nose. And my advice is, you got these little things and you're looking at it and you're going, is that hail damage? Is that really something I need to be worried about? You probably don't.
You know, that's an interesting point. In Bloomington, we get like 2 door knockers a week that will come out. And the funny thing is they'll never have a business card. They normally won't have any garb on that just shows who they are with. Yeah. And I had one the other night at like 9 p.m. And
who knocks on your door at 9 p.m.?
And it was pest control.
Yes.
I could barely see him. And he was a nice young man. I felt bad for him because he's, trying to make a living and he's out door knocking and it's hot out. And so he's trying to convince me that I've got this massive pest problem. He can barely see my house. He can barely see my house. Yeah. And he's like, you've got just a terrible pest problem here. We need to get you on a 6-month program. You probably don't get many of those, do you, Mike?
I get a few every once in a while. Not at 9 o'clock at night. I mean, at 9 o'clock at night when it's dark, can you even see if you got pests out there?
Oh my gosh,
that's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, it was interesting, Mike. As we head to the home stretch here, thoughts for folks who are again looking to potentially refinance in the lending world at all? Any questions on that front at all?
Yeah. So the refinance mini boom is coming up, right? Rates for sure. We had a ton of people from October of 2022. That's when rates first hit 7%. Until probably 2 months ago when rates were still above 7. So there's a 1.5 year time frame there where people are going to be at 7% or higher on their interest rates. So the refinance boom is definitely going to be coming. So watch those. September 18th is when the Feds meet next. Interest rates a few weeks after that will probably trickle down, where we're going to be around the 5.75 mark is what I'm guessing. Going to be plenty of opportunity there for lots of people there to refinance and save some money with rates getting down to that level.
And I got another listing. Joe Max got one in Savage, great agent with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, Remax Advantage Plus. This one is 8017 157th Street for $739,500. It was built by Country Joe. It's a former model home, assumable VA mortgage at 2.37%. It's a ranch-style home, 4-bed, 3-bath. Main floor has a laundry that connects directly to the owner's closet. So many updates, can't even describe them. A really good one, Ruben. Be sure to check that out. What do you got? Last thoughts for us here, buddy, as we head to the home stretch.
If you're hiring a home inspector, not all home inspection companies are created equal. There's no licensing here in Minnesota, and you really need to do your research on who it is you're hiring. Dig into how long they've been in business, what's their presence, look at reviews. Don't just go with the first person you find. That's my advice on home inspections.
Yeah, Ruben, you're a great partner. I encourage everyone, check out Structure Tech. And the name of your podcast again as well?
You can go to structuretalk.com.
Is that what it is? Structure Talk?
Structure Talk. Yeah. Playing off our company name there. And anywhere you find podcasts, you will find us. Type in Structure Talk. you'll find the podcast.
The real question is, are we going to be able to get you to get a bag of that sweet, or bucket of that sweet Martha's cookies?
As soon as the show is over, I'm getting in line, Ryan.
How about Mike? Mike, you going to do it, buddy?
I'm probably not going to be buying a bucket of cookies, being completely honest with you. I'd probably go grab about 4 of those pork chops, though.
Yeah, you would. Mr. Protein. Mr. Protein. Hey, Ruben, great job today, buddy.
Thanks for having me on, Ryan. This is a blast.
Yeah, check out Ruben again with Structure Tech. Pull him up online. Wonderful company, highly reputable. Mike Overson, awesome job, buddy. Illuminate Home Loans.
Always good to be out here at the fair, at least once a year. I love it.
Yeah, thanks again to everybody. This has been the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Appreciate Josh and Sarah being here. Take care, everybody. Thank you all. Thanks, everybody.
Good
Thank you. Good show. Thank you. Thanks on social media, everybody, for joining us. It was a fun show. Happy to be here at the fair. We'll be back again next week. We'll be back in studio. I'm going to flip the camera around here, too. I'm going to flip the camera wide. Got to say hi to Mom. Mom and Tim, come here. Come on up. I got my mom and Tim here, too.
Here we go.
Any thoughts, guys, for the fair? What are you going to do today?
Come on out to the fair.
We're going to go ride the Sky Ride. Go ride overhead in the cable car.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Any certain foods, Ma, you want to hit?
Now let's look for a pronto pup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little problem. All right, so guys. All right, everybody. Thank you. It's been a fun week. Thanks for joining us. Ruben, good job, buddy.
Woo! Thanks for joining in, everyone.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Ruben with Structure Tech. Be sure to plug in with him. He and his team do an awesome job. Michael.
Hi, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, Mike Overson, Illuminate Home Loans. Check him out. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back. Get out to the fair. Have a little fun. Take care.